At the heart of any good lesson is a passionate teacher who really loves the subject that they're teaching, and that's what rubs off on the kids. At the Prince's Teaching Institute, we're all about passionate, inspired and knowledgeable teachers.
Right, good morning everybody. Welcome here to the Prince's Teaching Institute.
What we do at the PTI is to re-energise, reinvigorate and get to that passion.
It's incredibly satisfying. It completely revolutionised what we were doing as a department. It reminded us why we became teachers in the first place.
Over the years I got to know all sorts of people that I enjoyed and found fascinating. So I then asked them if they'd come and inspire teachers at these gatherings and explain to them what it was in their education that inspired them so much to be able to do what they do now. And all of them will attest to the fact that they had great teachers.
Joseph's heard of it, yes, how have you heard of it? Well, I think it's the most amazing experience. You get the chance to meet people who are eminent people in their field, and you hear about research, they bring you up to date, and it just makes you want to come back and bring it back into the classroom.
That's very good.
When you go to a PTI subject day, you have an opportunity to be a learner again. And I think that's really important because very often as a teacher, you might forget what it is to be a learner. So it puts you back in those shoes.
It is not an outside organisation, it is within education itself, and I think that's very, very important. It's run pretty much from top to bottom, with a few exceptions, by teachers. For me, that makes it actually far more relevant because it's not coming from people outside of education who perhaps haven't got the experience, and although lots of things work in theory, haven't got the practical ideas that actually can transfer that into the classroom.
I spent a day, I went off to the Prince's Teaching Institute and I spent a day at Down House. It's where Charles Darwin came back from his journeys and he lived and he did his work. And we had a great day. We were taken all around the house, seeing where he was living, where he was doing his work, and it just brought it to life for me, so that when I came back, I was able to bring in all that extra stuff that you don't get out of a textbook. You know, I've actually been and I've sat in the chair that Charles Darwin sat in. Just amazing. And so the family might have been sitting down for a meal around the table, and he's got all his specimens all over the table.
I attended a subject day on Shakespeare, teaching Shakespeare. And part of it was led by the Royal Shakespeare Company. So we explored various different dramatic approaches to studying Shakespeare, and when I returned to school it was very, very popular, hugely popular, and it gave them, because they had the overview of the story and they'd already had a practice at using some of the language, when it came to reading the play they were much more prepared for it and open to trying.
It just made me think about how I could change the lessons that I was going through, because I'm a new teacher and I'm enthusiastic and passionate about my subject, but the PTI takes it a step further. Vequiano was from the Caribbean. Why would he then move to Britain? You saved so much time anyway because of what you were learning. It's something tangible that you can take away and think, right, I'm going to use that, I'm going to adapt it for my school or for my students.
One of the biggest things that I've taken away from the PTI is through the leadership programme, and the research project that I started was called Shakespeare on Love. We had 6 weeks to do something different, and the something different that I picked was 6 plays in 6 weeks. As an English teacher, in the current climate, you could become victim to playing the exam game and focusing just on getting results. So it was a risk to take part of Year 9 away and do something that was not linked to exam results or anything else, any measurable outcome in that way, but to give them this enriching experience. The result, though, has paid off. The inspiration that I had from going to the PTI days and from being part of the PTI research project has been that my pupils are actually on track to get the best results that we've ever had, and they are loving literature.
What are V1, V2, V3 going to be telling us?
Everybody in teaching talks about the amount of changes that are going on. It talks about the amount of work that has to be done, the pressures that are put on. And quite simply, the PTI can help with all of those aspects. There's several hundred schools now. If you're not quite entirely sure how to teach something or things like that, you can ask people. It's that frontline experience, that first-hand aspect where they can just help you avoid mistakes and help you just to improve.
What do we think, Harry?
You can go to conferences, you can meet other people, you can meet people in your field and share ideas. But when you're going to the Prince's Teaching Institute, you get a different take on it. It's about, this is why I really love the subject, and it just enthuses you. So it's not quite the same as anything else that I've been to.